Okay, let's get started here today. We are going to be talking about depression. There's so many people that end up with moodiness, with depression, with a lot of things that are affecting who they really are, affecting them as a person, thinking that there's something wrong with them. All those kind of thoughts. There's a lot of bad thoughts that go along with depression, a lot of self-destruction. And I'm hoping that there's something that you can gain today that you will be able to help yourself through that process. So let's get going. We know that depression is so strong among teenagers. It's very often caused by a poor diet and nutrition deficiencies. It's very, very sad to me to see how fast all the depression drugs are handed out now. I have a niece of mine who told me that when she goes to the doctor, he gives her a list of meds and says, which one do you want? It's scary to me, and what's going to happen to our young people as they grow up. We'll discuss more of that as we go through. There's so many things that cause depression. Stress is huge. Stress is absolutely, whether it's at home, whether it's at work. We got a picture here with the baby. We know that so often that depression hits after a baby is born, during pregnancy, at work. Just there's so many different things. It's very prevalent among seniors. They have to improve their circulation and optimize their protein and their essential fatty acids and B complex. That's huge for seniors. Getting their circulation back the way that it's supposed to be working proper, for it to work properly. That helps maintain the brain function that we know it. Postpartum depression is very common. When somebody has depression, they often think, why is everybody happy except me? And that's always caused by a hormone imbalance after delivering a baby. And it can be very moderate, and it can be very severe. It depends on where you are nutrition-wise. That makes a huge, huge, huge difference for postpartum depression. Depression can cause suicidal thoughts. This is when many of the women get started on antidepressant after babies, and they stay on them indefinitely or for a very long time unless they know that they have other options. But it always requires understanding what is a possibility. And I think that's what we do most, is give people possibilities, give them hope that there's a way to feel good in life. Again, we talk about protein being very important along with lots of B vitamins and your essential fatty acids. It's the same thing over and over. It doesn't matter whether you start out as a child or whether you become a teenager or whether it's in your early adulthood, in your best years, as they call them, of your life, or in your retirement. It doesn't matter where it is. It's always because your body is crying for help. I want you to remember that. When you start getting symptoms, it doesn't matter what it is. Your body is crying for help. So depression is a condition that affects 1 out of 10 Americans at some point in their life. But the incidence of depression is actually higher in some states than other. And I think, I know that our area is very high because we have a lot of gray, dark winters, and that affects a lot of people. There's certain ethnicities that have higher depression. So over 80% of the people that have symptoms of clinical depression are not receiving any specific treatment. The number of patients diagnosed with depression increases approximately 20% a year. And it's sad to me that when somebody's got some health issues going on, I've had many different clients of mine that have had different health issues going on, can't be pinpointed as to what it is, and so they're told that they just have depression, and they try to put them on an antidepressant instead of getting to the root of what the problem is. Many times depression stems from some other major health issues that you can't figure out. And so again, that comes back to let's get that body built up. So if you understand the brain, the health of the brain and the central nervous system, it is a very, very important. Circulation to your brain and your nervous system is one of the biggest things. Keeping good circulation, keep that blood flowing, that helps keep your body going or working better. I personally believe that chiropractic is a very important part of your entire nervous system, of your entire health, because if you don't have your spine in line, you can take a bunch of nutrients, but if your body's blocking it someplace, your nervous system is through your, I went to the Body World once and I was blown away at seeing the central nervous system. It touches every little thing because that's what makes stuff work in our body. We all know that prescription drugs are so readily offered. There's so many, $23.5 billion in annual sales for antidepressants. And if you look at the list here, I'm sure you've heard of a lot of them, or you know of friends, either you're on them or you know friends who are on them. The antidepressants that are, and I would really encourage people to look side effects up. We'll see that in a little while. But a lot of people don't know there's another option, and that there's a safer option than using the meds. And I'm not saying that don't ever use the meds, because they always have their place. I say that if somebody is really suffering from depression, use the meds and then rebuild your body up. And we have many people that do that and slowly then get off from the depressions medication. So I just want you to look at some of the side effects here, because I don't care which one of the drug categories it is, there's side effects. Twitches in your face, abnormal secretion of milk, asthma, a side effect of depression meds. We look at how the asthma rates have gone up. That's just, I have to really check myself when I do a presentation like this, because it just gets me to the core. It hurts me. Hair loss, hepatitis, high blood pressure, digestive problems, headaches, insomnia, dizziness, nervousness. So we're taking it for depression and we end up more nervous. Impotence in men, tremors, blurred vision, liver problems. These are all different categories, but you can see the names that go along with them. I look at this one that we just went through, the SSRIs, the Prozac. How many people are putting little children on Prozac today? Zoloft, that's another one. A lot of kids are on that. Paxil. It breaks my heart. Here's another one, the NASSAs. Sleepiness all the time, tiredness, weight gain, increased appetite, dizziness, heartburn, digestive problems. There's a lot of medications that cause digestive problems, and we look at 1 out of 2 people have digestive issues. Blurred vision, rashes, kidney problems, itching, swelling of the face, flu-like symptoms. Sound like something you want to be on? And there's more different kinds for different things. Again, we get the digestive problems. A lot of this we've had the side effects already, but tremors, blurred vision, glaucoma, liver damage, muscle rigidity, stuttering, palpitations, schizophrenia, convulsions, kidney and liver dysfunctions, slurred speech, headaches. You wonder how is it that they're allowed to give this stuff to people? How is it that people can take this stuff knowing what the side effects are? How can people put their children on this stuff? And this is something I'm so passionate about. And if you're somebody who is using it, or if you're somebody who has your children on this, I am so thankful that you're here watching, that you can see that there's an alternative. Because there's nobody that would put their child on something like this, on any one of these drugs. They would not put their children on this unless they thought there was absolutely no other alternative. But there are alternatives. So dealing with depression naturally, there's several things that play into the fact. There's several factors that play into it here. There's no one magic bullet that will fix it all. But if you provide the basic needs of the brain and the central nervous system, the results can be very satisfactory. Okay? So I'm going to talk to you about the Shaklee products, and the reason that I talk about the Shaklee products is because That is one of the most trusted companies that's out there. It was founded by Dr. Shaklee in 1956, the actual company was, but 1915 is when we had our first Vitalized Minerals. We are the number one natural nutrition company, but our philosophy is that all of our products must be in harmony with nature. Okay, Dr. Shaklee was a man who was a sickly child. He found a way through nature to get his health back. He went on to become a chiropractor because he wanted to help people do the same that he had done with himself. He wanted to help people be able to do the same. So he became a chiropractor and he used his nutrition in his practice. And then it was back before they knew how bad x-rays were for you. He ended up with cancer in his right arm and his right hip, and they wanted to amputate. And he said, thank you, but no thank you. And he was a young man yet. He was, I don't remember if he was in his 30s or 40s, but he was young. And he said, thank you, but no thank you. I will find a way through nature and keep all my body parts. He died at the age of 95, and he still had all of his body parts. I'm sorry, I'm pushing too many buttons here. Apologize for that. But so you understand, when I say our philosophy is products in harmony with nature, that is who we are. That is who we will remain to be. We have been the first in so many things. If you look at this, I've been involved with this company for 37 years, and it's changed my life as well as the lives of those that I love. And I'd love to share my story with you if I can quickly. I had severe bladder infections. I had I was on continual medications. I had bronchitis all the time. I had severe menstrual cycles, and I ended up with cancer. And then my kids had asthma as well. I had 3 of my children with asthma. But we're talking about depression now, so I'm not going to go more into what my story is, but all of that stuff went away. And I just know our bodies are absolutely amazing, and that's why I'm so passionate about what I do. But Dr. Shaklee's heritage, you can see here, he came up with the very first multivitamin over 100 years ago. Okay. He also invented, you can see he's the one who, shouldn't say invented, but he was the very first to have plant-based protein with soy lecithin. And then in 1981, we were the very first company to have sustained release vitamin C. And then in 2005, we have a product that took 40 years to figure out how to help your body naturally make interferon. And then we came out, it's just been continual and anti-aging. And there is no company that has done the amount of research and development as this company has. And the safety factors are huge. That's why we work with the Shaklee products. So I hope, because I wanted to tell you some of this before I talked about what products are there that are good for digestion, or for depression, depression, because we get results. And I want you to think about it. I've been using this for 37 years. Think about it. Is there any product in your entire regimen that you have used faithfully for 10 years? Is there any company that you've been very loyal to for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years? We have a lot of people in our company that have been there for 40 years. The average person stays with this company 17 and a half years. So that shows you, why would they do that? Because the stuff is good. Okay. This is our company's built on trust. We've talked about a couple of those things. This is our founder, Dr. Shaklee. And then this is our visionary, Roger Barnett. And I call him a miniature Dr. Shaklee because he has the exact same passion for in harmony with nature and purity and performance. Okay, so this is the Shaklee difference from what's out there. We pride ourselves in purity, potency, performance, and proof. Over 100,000 quality control tests we do every single year, and that guarantees our potency. We have third-party verification. We do 350 contaminant tests on each new botanical ingredient. That that guarantees our purity. And then the performance, we could go on and on about that, and the proof. We have 100% money back guarantee. If for any reason whatsoever you don't like our products, you get your money back. Why is that? Because they work. Okay? So this next slide that I'm going to show you, I want you to think about this. This is about you and or your family, those in your household. And I'm just going to run through this list with you, and I want you to count. I don't care if you do it on your fingers, however you do it, and add up how many of these things do you and or your family deal with today, okay? So first of all, most Americans don't consider these to be illnesses, and I'm going to, for your ease of mind, I'm going to say that they're not, okay? But let's go through the list and keep track of it. No pep, underweight, overweight, splitting fingernails, dull, thin hair, needing stimulants like caffeine either to get going or to keep going. Either of those would be another count. Headaches, backaches, constipation, bleeding gums, diarrhea, bruising easily, taking aspirin often, just aches and pains, a vague blah feeling all over. You just have bleh. Requiring tranquilizers or depression meds, using pep pills, any of those pep drinks, having hemorrhoids, poor digestion, gas, bloating, slow to wake up in the morning, difficulty sleeping at night, dry skin, leg cramps, sinus troubles, desire for sweet foods, bad breath, colds, infections, nervousness, depression, needs Alka-Seltzers, irritability, allergies, varicose veins, menstrual problems, PMS, or menopause, okay? So, and then for every medication that you have in your, it says in your medicine cabinet, I always say every prescription med that you use, add, or your family, add another count for that. So my question is, how many meds do you have? How many have you come up with? I have people that say 10, 12 all the time. That's a very common number. 20 is a common number. 30, everything that's on here between them and their family. So they may not be considered illnesses, but they are your body speaking to you, help me, because I am going in the direction of falling apart. And I want you to think about this like your car. If you have a light in your car and you put a piece of tape over it to cover that light up because it's irritating you, and you jump back in your car and you just keep driving, and then your overheating light comes on and you put a piece of masking tape over it because the light is irritating to you. We would never do that with our cars, but it's something that we do with our bodies all the time. We get a headache and we throw in an aspirin. We get constipation and we go and buy X-Lax or whatever the stuff is. You hurt, so you take something for the pain. You have indigestion, so you take the purple pill. You have depression, so you take another different kind of a pill. You have sinus trouble, so then you take another thing. You have allergies and you take something else. It's the average person at the age of 40 is using medications on a regular basis. And I think that is going down for younger and younger and younger. It's scary, but it's your body crying out, help me. Is it crying out because it has a shortage of medication? Or do you think it could possibly be crying out because it needs nutrition? That's what we have found through the years, that your body lets you know when it needs, whether it's more water, whether it's more sleep, whether it's more exercise, whether it's more nutrition. And good food is different than supplementation. Eating good food is part of that. You must have good food. You don't want to eat junk food all the time and then take some vitamins and hope you're doing yourself a good job. That's not how it works. You have to want to keep your health. And it's becoming, today, you have to be very intentional about it. When I was growing up, everybody ate better. The food was better quality. We didn't have the preservatives, the additives. I don't have to tell this to you guys because everybody knows that now. But we live in a different world. So we have, I just wanted to share this with you because we do so much And it's not that Shaklee pays these people to come out and use their products. NASA actually came to Shaklee and said, can you help us? We need a drink so our people aren't dehydrated when they come back. And why is that? Because we had somebody come and we made this performance product, and we have now got a pure performance team. And I think that Eli Brunner, who won a gold in 2008, said that now there's 200 people on that team, because they all know they need nutrition, but the nutrition that's out there is so contaminated. And that is growing so fast that, you mark my words, we're going to have almost all of our American Olympians on Shaklee products that are competing. We're going to be a hand in hand there, because we know that they're not going to get contamination. If they find any contamination, they can be checked at any time. They're out of the Olympics for 2 years. And they found that a lot of the contamination was coming from other food supplement companies, from their products, because the quality wasn't there. So we know that this stuff is different than anything else that they take. Okay, so we need to feed the brain and the central nervous system. So what is it that helps do that? We've got a product here that's called Vitalizer. Vitalizer, it came from a large study that was done by UC Berkeley, a 20-year study. But the Vitalizer provides all the known supplements that are needed for your depression. Sometimes you need more. So it's a guaranteed supply of Extra B complex, and that's very important for the central nervous system. Extra vitamin E, because that increases the blood flow in your entire body, but to your brain as well. It's got 500 milligrams of 7 of the omega-3 and DHAs, that's per one, but a serving is 2, so that's got 1,000, I think it's 1,200 in fact, for 2. I'd have to, but it's for sure 1,000. It's also recommended to eat 3 level tablespoons of fresh flaxseed each day, or 3 of your flaxseed capsules. You need extra other than the omega-3 and the DHAs, okay? A lot of people do need extra Omega Guard, which gives you more of those 3 and 7. So the Vitalizer contains, I think that they upped this. Vitalizer now contains 500. So if you add extra, and we never know when you need it until you start using it. Let's see what results you get, and then we readjust. But I have so many people who've gone off their depression meds or have cut them down to such a minimal amount after they get their body in shape, and they continue using this to keep their body in shape. So the purpose of this is to fatten and insulate the central nervous system, okay? Your essential fatty acids have 3 major roles. First of all, they insulate the nerves, okay? And then they fatten the brain to cause the cells to connect properly. You can see the difference here on this. This is one that their connections are all dying. And then manufacture hormones such as serotonin and the feeling good hormone. So that's what your fatty acids do. It contains, so it's protection. It contains 26 antioxidants. So what do the antioxidants do? They protect the cells from toxins that cause damage and interfere with the hormone production and the transfer of hormones to the proper places. So when your hormones are screwed up, so is your brain. And so many people have depression from that. The detoxification part is the very first step. It's getting that good microflora back in there. If you suffer with depression, I would love to do a nutrition consult with you to find out where you're coming from, because sometimes there's different ways that we go other than just the Vitalizer, depending on where you're at, or we may have to add something other than the Vitalizer. So detoxification is a huge part of depression. Huge, huge, huge. So it's very important that you drink plenty of purified water and that you have lots of fiber in your diet. So doing a GI tract cleanse or rejuvenating body cleanse could be very important for you. Again, that's where a consultation comes in. And then doing other supplements that are benefit is alfalfa. That's a body purifier, blood purifier. Herblax is part of it, works in your colon, liver detox, and then Vivix is an absolutely amazing, amazing anti-aging detoxifying of the cell product. Something that I say everybody should be using. It was a humongous science breakthrough. I think it was in 2008. So why do you need amino acids? 9 essential amino acids. It's very important to have the essentials, and it's hard to get them. Soy protein provides a complete supply of all 9 essential amino acids, and that supports the production of the L-tyrosine, taurine, and other amino acids necessary to produce optimal hormones. The big thing is serotonin. I always say the protein is for the happy juice for your brain. It's and you can notice that right away. You notice the difference in how you feel. I have been such a proponent of this, and I know that there's been some negative press out there, but the research that was negative came from somebody who did their research on rats instead of humans, and they come to find out that humans assimilate soy totally differently than rats do. So then those 2 studies, I think it was 2 studies by these 2 doctors in the 90s, were squashed. I've been using it for 38 years now, every single day. And I can tell you if I don't have my protein, it makes a difference in multiple different ways. So some of the others, for more aggressive supplementation, it's beneficial to obtain and to get the results quicker. That are some of the things that we talked about there. Now, if our mood lift is St. John's wort, if you are using a pharmaceutical antidepressant right now, you cannot use mood lift because they cancel out each other. But you can add a lot of extra B-complex. B-complex will make you feel calm. We have another product that's called, I guess we're going to go into each one of these individually, so I won't do it right now. But this acts, it's a natural antidepressant. It's a drug-free approach to depression, anxiety, panic attacks, irritability, and sleeplessness. So what does it do? It stimulates the happy juice, which I call the serotonin, and that brings it to optimal levels are essential to prevent depression. So if you're feeling depression and you're not on a drug right now, this could be something that could take the place of that. It's a natural herb. So you don't get the side effects from it. To me, that's the big thing is herbs act as a medicine. Vitamins, minerals, and protein build health. So the other thing that it does, it inhibits the MAO enzyme, and that's what destroys your serotonin and your other good neurotransmitters in your brain. It's an amazing product if you're not on a med right now. And it's the same as other meds. It takes 3 weeks actually to get full blown into your body. But what happens faster, what works faster is B-complex. That's in your blood within 15 minutes, but it can be gone as fast as 15 minutes. But it's energy for the brain. It's fuel for the central nervous system, and it's essential when you have high stress. And the reason that it's essential is because when you're under high stress, when I said it can be gone as fast as it's absorbed, if something happens and you have that feeling of something that, like this morning, we had a feeling that it brought a lot of tears all of a sudden, and then after we went and checked things out, it turned out that it wasn't as serious. But I know, and then I raced back here to come and do this, I know that that has drained a lot of my bees. So as soon as I'm done doing this webinar, I will go and take some more bees, because your bees are water soluble. They have to be replaced, especially if you're a high stress person. We have another herbal that helps with stress as well. That's called Stress Relief. So resveratrol works as a natural antidepressant. It acts as an MAO inhibitor. Remember, that's the one that destroys the serotonin. It protects the brain from neurotoxicity. This is huge. And it helps reduce the effects of the excitotoxins like the MSG toxicity. Okay. Hopefully you watch that you're not taking in the MSG, because that really messes up. And you know how much that's out there. I was looking for a stock the other day. I was in Restaurant Depot and I was looking for I looked through all of their beef stock, chicken stock, all of them. They had multiple different brands there, but every single one of them had that monosodium glutamate in it. It's a flavoring enhancer, but you do not want to take that in because it reduces the good stuff that's going on in your brain. And now you wonder why there's so many people that are coming up with depression when you know that's a side effect of it. I know people that every time they take MSG, they know immediately because they get headaches. I have a brother-in-law. He gets literally sick if he has MSG. So it's something for all of us to be very aware of. Stress relief, it provides relief from stress and tension within, it says 20 to 30 minutes. I'm going to say 5 to 15. Because I've noticed, I can tell you that from my own personal experience. It increases your alpha waves in the brain. It promotes alertness and better concentration. It promotes calmness and stress relief without creating drowsiness. That's a biggie right there. And the other thing is that when you're under stress, your body creates cortisol. So this blocks the cortisol. It's a stress hormone that increases degeneration in your body. Totally natural. Okay? So I don't know if you knew this, but stress can be measured with an EEG. It shows your brain produces different types of waves that can all be measured. So what are they? Your delta waves produced in the deepest stages of your sleep. That's why it's so important. The theta waves, they happen during a relaxed time or during drowsiness, but barely being aware of your surroundings. And then you've got your beta waves, and they indicate pressure, time, urgency. And then you've got your alpha waves. And those occur when you're flowing, when you're performing at your peak, when you're relaxed, when you're alert and focused, and working effortlessly. Okay? So it's interesting what they can all measure now in your body, but you can see that if that stuff isn't working the way it's supposed to, they can tell on an EEG. Okay, alfalfa is what we call a mineral smorgasbord. And that's because the roots go down so deep that it has access to stuff that nothing else has access to, the minerals. And this helps detoxify and purify your blood. Your blood flow or circulation in the brain is so critical that there's different things that can enhance it, but your essential fatties are important, your vitamin E, your CoQ10, and then of course exercise. Whether it's a Chi machine, that's a lazy way of doing it, but exercise is very important for good blood flow. So in summary, this is the beginning of what we recommend, is either Vitalizer and supplements, a can in a box. Step 2 would be to add in some other supplements and see how you go if you're not doing the best. And step 3 would be some different ones. So many people prefer a drug-free approach. And the guideline for weaning off from antidepressants is to follow a diet. Be careful with what you're eating, and this is something that we can work with you on, and a nutrition plan for a minimum of 4 to 8 weeks, and then reduce them 10% every week. And then when you're completely off them for 10 days, then you can start with the St. John's wort if you still need that. A lot of people don't, some people do. Everybody is different, and it doesn't mean anything one way or another. Your lifestyle is different, your body's built different. So the question is, who do you know that's looking for a drug-free approach? And will you have the courage to either share it with them or not? It's so important to maintain your brain and treat it with utmost respect so that it will serve you well. And everybody that starts out using the products. So it all starts with using, and then because if you get results, then it's easier for you to share with other people. And I always say it's like going to a movie. You know, if you are at a movie and you really like it, or you can tell somebody, if you've been to an amazing restaurant. I was just at an amazing restaurant. My kids took me there for my birthday, and I can't tell you how many people I've shared that with. That's our responsibility. When there's something good, then you share it with others. So, and this is Dr. Shackley. He says, your future life will be exactly what you decide to make it. So if you want to change your route of health, because you know what, when you start losing your health is when you start appreciating it. If you have already lost a portion of your health, you can gain it back. I have seen that over and over and over. Of course, I can't make any guarantees on that. But if you don't get the results you're looking for, Shackley will always refund your money for you. But you cannot buy a new body like you can buy a new car. So if this is of interest to you, then I just ask that you would connect with me, and I will help you learn what you can do to build your health further. So with that, I want to say thank you for joining us, and have an amazing day.